freaking out. I was telling Tim about it. I'm sure he gets that stuff all the time, but I don't like it. See, one thing I'm positive of, I know I ain't shit. Well, and, oh, by the way, we're hot mic. I just said that and I forgot. We're very hot mic, guys. To all you people at home, hi. Are you ready? Good evening, everybody, and welcome. This is our call to order for our Tuesday, April 28th, regular business meeting of the Mason County Commission. Let's see here. Yeah, John, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Tim Sheldon.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Terry Jeffries.
Here.
Item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence come before this commission?
Yes, we do. David Eklund submitted an application for the Civil Service Commission. Susan Ike submitted an application for the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging. Delroy Cox and Steve Gilmore submitted applications for the Solid Waste Advisory Committee. The Liquor Control Board submitted a special occasion liquor license for Belfair Elementary PTA and marijuana license application for Belfair Marijuana Depot. Mason County Hospital District Number 2 submitted notification of members on the EMS and Trauma Council. The State House of Representatives submitted a letter requesting assistance in reviewing House Bill 1885 and Senate Bill 5755. And Greg Stair submitted a letter and information regarding the bend on Hood Canal.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to make a slight correction on item 4.1.6. It was certain members of the State House of Representatives, not the full House.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, item number 4.2, announcement of Public Works Project Award information.
Good evening, Melissa McFadden, Mason County Public Works. I'm here tonight to let you guys know that the Public Works Department is announcing bid award of the following contracts. Bid tabs for all these projects are available on Builders Exchange of Washington. That's the company that we use to advertise our bids and award information, and that's bxwa.com. So our 2015 paint line contract has been awarded to Hicks Striping and Curbing in the amount of $298,889.75. Our 2015 manufacturing and stockpiling of chip seal aggregate has been awarded to Peninsula Topsoil in the amount of $136,360.09 for Zone 1 and $143,637.73 for Zone 2. CRP 1829 Hunter Creek Bridge has been awarded to Quake Brothers in the amount of $2,189,028.10. Asphaltic materials has been awarded to Albina Asphalt, and we will purchase that as needed. Asphalt emulsion has been awarded to Pyramid Materials, Granite Construction, Lakeside Construction, and Miles Resources LLC. All bids have been accepted to purchase as needed. Again, all these bid tabulations are available at bxwa.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other correspondence or organizational business to come before this body? Hearing none, we will move on to item number 5, which is our open forum for citizens' input. This is your opportunity to speak about any issue that is not on the agenda. If it is on the agenda, we ask that you wait and speak about it at that time. You'll be given an opportunity to ask questions or give testimony, however you choose. But if it's not on the agenda and you'd like to speak to this commission, this is your opportunity. With that being said, you'll be given up to 5 minutes per person, 15 minutes total, so please be brief. Is there anybody who would like to speak to the commission on an item that is not on the agenda? Ask Commissioner Steve Bloomfield.
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you for allowing me to be here. Steve Bloomfield, 391 Southeast Almond Road in Shelton. I'm here tonight as a member of the Mason County Historical Society, and we are proud of our building and our facility at the museum downtown. We've done some recent renovation there and are getting things nailed back into place. And we'd love to see you and the whole community come down and visit the facility, take a look at it, the remarkable amount of work that's been done, and also the volunteers that put in a lot of time and effort into maintaining that and doing research for the community. It's unbelievable what they can dig up if you go down and ask them. So take advantage of it, come on down, and we'd be proud to have anybody in there and take a look at it. The other thing is, I'm here tonight to remind the commission of the possible need for future expansion maybe on the Highway 101 corridor there, and to keep us in mind as time goes by here. We'll have further correspondence with you and look forward to working with the county. So thank you.
Thank you so much, David, for everything you do, because the work you do seems to be never ending, my friend. We appreciate you.
Well, that's what I tell her.
Yeah, that's why, actually, Steve, that's why I'm saying it, is so that she will know when he's not, that's because he's doing everything else, so,
Thank you.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, I think,
Yes.
to just dovetail on that, there'll be an announcement next week, or at least a press release, but our Historic Preservation Society is also having a 10-year anniversary, and there'll be an event on May 16th of all the historical groups in the county to celebrate that. So thank you for your work on that, and there's plenty more vetting to be done.
Okay, we got plenty more work for you, Steve. With that being said, is there anybody else who would like to speak to the commission on anything that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, we will go ahead and move forward to item number 6, which is the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I wonder if we could add an item on number 10 to talk a little bit about the sale of the Simpson Lumber Company to Sierra Pacific. I had a meeting with them the other day, and a couple things I'd like to share.
You,
I'm in concurrence.
same here, so we'll go ahead and add that
All right,
by,
I'll make the motion then, Mr. Chairman, to add that item as 8.10 and approve the rest of the agenda.
10.10?
10.10.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded for the adoption of the agenda with the addition of an item 10.1 under other business department heads, elected officials. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye, the motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the April 21st regular meeting minutes as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion to approve those minutes.
Moved and seconded for the approval of the April 21st regular meeting minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Item number 8, which is the approval of the action agenda. All items listed under the action agenda will be enacted by one motion of the commission unless a citizen or commissioner requests that an item be removed from the action agenda and considered as a separate item. We will go ahead and read these to you individually. You'll be given an opportunity to ask a question if it'll help you to decide whether to have it taken off. Other than that, if you have testimony or something you'd like to say, again, we ask that you just ask for it to be taken off. We will have a specific discussion about it, at which time you will give an opportunity to testify. With that being said, I am going to, last week when Commissioner Sheldon was on the phone, I was rough on him and I gave him the biggest, longest one on it. So this time, Commissioner Jeffries, I will do 8.1, 8.2. Commissioner Jeffries, if you'll do 8.3 and 8.4, and we'll just give you one at 8.5. Okay? Item number 8.1, approval to enter into a contract with Smart Meme Studios for the work on Phase 1 with an option to proceed to Phase 2 if Phase 2 is successful. Smart Meme Studios will assist Parks Advisory Board and staff with the development of an Adopt a Park program, and this program will be funded by a successful Kickstarter program. Item number 8.2, approval to authorize Public Works to use the Mason County Municipal Research and Services Center, MRSC, consultant roster to select and enter into contract with a consultant to assist with updating the transportation element of the Mason County Comprehensive Plan.
Item 8.3, approval of the Water Quality Aquatic Invasive Plant Funding Agreement between the State of Washington Department of Ecology and Mason County Noxious Weed Control in the amount of $25,000. 8.4, approval of the Veterans Assistance Fund applications for food, $225, utilities, $1,293.08, and housing, $434, for a total of $1,952.08, as recommended by the Veterans Service Office.
Mr. Chairman, at 8.5, approval of an agreement with Elizabeth Mell
LLC to lease the former Mel Chevrolet building located at 305 South First Street, Shelton, for use by the Mason County Sheriff's Office to store evidence and other uses. Lease term is 3 years at $1,500 per month for the first year and $1,800 per month for the last 2 years of the agreement. There is an option to extend the lease.
With that being read to the public, is there any questions that the public may have that would help them to decide whether or not to take it off for a separate vote and give testimony? Commissioners, any questions?
I have a question on number 1, and wonder if we could just vote on that separately.
Okay, we will.
8.1.
We'll move that one for a separate vote. Is there any other items that somebody would like taken off for a separate vote?
I just have a question.
Oh, sure.
On
Go ahead.
8.5, do we know the square footage on that?
Yes, what is this? Kelly?
200,000 or 20,000 square feet.
20. Thank you.
200,000? So, what, 20? 20. 20,000.
Yeah.
Shopping mall.
Yeah, I was gonna say 200, we are getting a bargain. Yeah. Okay, is there anybody that would like an item taken off for a separate vote or testimony? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion minus item number 8.1.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve items 8.2 through 8.5 on the action agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the action agenda items 8.2 through 8.5. 8.1 is being removed for a separate vote.
Mr. Chairman, could
Yes.
I make a comment before we
Please.
vote? I think this is an excellent idea to lease from the Mel Chevrolet estate for that property. We've talked about a evidence facility for a long time and explored a lot of options. And I want to thank our staff for doing such a good job of looking at it, coming up with an idea, working with the sheriff's office. I think it's an excellent idea to utilize a building that's otherwise would probably be vacant and fits that use very well. So I wish you guys well with it and hope that it's very successful. I think it's very creative that the staff and the sheriff's department works so well together in coming up with this idea. So thank you very much.
Also, a little compliment because for our staff in another way, people don't realize even though we're Mason County, we have all this equipment and everything. Our facilities and our crew, they actually do all their work inside a little tiny house, basically, area, or over here on little shelves. They don't actually have a workspace until now. Now they actually have a workspace to work on a lawnmower or what, instead of bringing it into the building. So it's very appreciated, all the work that they did. Any further?
I do. I want to compliment Patricia Grover for her work in getting the $25,000. This will do kind of an invasive species, a water species on Phillips Lake. Is that correct? Spencer Lake. That's right. Phillips Lake's waiting for this. But just appreciate your extra work and going above and beyond to bring this money on in and get that work done. Thank you, Patricia.
Anything further? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, the motion carries. Item number 8.1. Approval to enter into a contract with Smart Meme Studios for the work of Phase 1 with the option to proceed to Phase 2 if Phase 1 is successful. Smart Meme Studios will assist the Parks Advisory Board and staff with the development of an Adopt a Park program, and this program will be funded by a successful Kickstarter campaign. I think it should be somewhere there, will hopefully be with hopefully a successful Kickstarter campaign. Go ahead, Commissioner. Do you have any questions? Or
I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know who Smart Meme Studios are, but I think if you looked at this as the public and read through the professional service agreement, you'd find some things that are somewhat unusual. Now, I wasn't here at the briefing for this, and I guess they were with the Parks Advisory Committee as well, I believe. But I think you'd find it's unusual that there's no consideration. I mean, if they don't find their own money, they're not going to get paid. So I think that's an unusual type of a contract. Nowhere in here do I see any person's name for Smart Meme Studio. It just says authorized representative. I think that's somewhat unusual as well. And the whole idea of contracts, and I've been here plus or minus 500 meetings sitting here in this chair. This is the first one I've seen where the consultant is asked to find the money to pay themselves. So I think this one's pretty unusual, and I just have some questions. Maybe someone else can explain this to me and the public a little better.
Yeah, and we also have found it as unusual when we were going through all this. It is definitely strange. One of the things that we did is we had it set back to explain that we didn't even want to have to pay anything else unless they were successful with the Kickstarter program to be able to pay for it, because this is definitely a different duck than what we've dealt with before. Would you like to give a brief description of what it is for the commissioner? A little further what's going on?
Good evening, John Keats, Parks and Facilities, and I guess before I start, I got to give some kudos to the Parks Advisory Board, because this was something that staff and they helped kind of come up with, and they're very creative, think out of the box, and I think this is it's a pretty good example. The reason it's set up the way it is, of course, is because we really don't have budgetary resources just to go out and do a RFP and hire somebody and pay them, and the Parks Board thought that a good way to maybe do this would be through the Kickstarter program, and it is unusual. So unusual, in fact, that I had to actually contact the Washington State Auditor's Office and get some clarification on whether we could even do this, which they, first when I talked to them about it, they kind of drew a blank because nobody has done it. So we're kind of forging new ground here, and but once I explained it to them, they were okay with the concept and how it would be set up and how it would be funded and how it would work. The project essentially is multifaceted. So the first is just some marketing and promotional materials for the park system itself. We've got 22 parks and looking at different ways to try and get the word out on these programs and our assets to the public, specifically people that maybe use electronic media to find things, and we've not been real successful and good at reaching folks through non-traditional means. So this was one of the ways we felt we could possibly get to that. So the first part is promotional. They'll have some placemats, some logos, brochure, website, some of those sorts of things to get word out on the Mason County Park system and the needs of the we have out there in terms of the park, adopted park agreements. And the second part would be what we're really striving for ultimately is would be a mobile app that you could utilize, and you could say be out at Truman Glick Park, for example, and be able to use that mobile app, would be able to show you where all the trails are and all the amenities in the park. And we'll also have a feature where if you were out there and like the park, you could even look at it and see, oh, well, they need this trail cleared, or they need this, that, or the other thing, and would introduce them to our Adopt a Park program, hopefully to get more volunteerism to help with the park maintenance and park projects and what have you. And so many people today use smartphones or whatever for their further information, just an effort to try and meet that need and get more information out about our parks, because too often I've been at places, I'll give you an example. Just the other day, had a work crew at Sunset Bluff Park, and there was about 10 of them, 12 of them there, and I asked them how many people knew about Sunset Bluff Park prior to them coming in there, and all of them, none of them raised their hands, and they were all young people who loved the park and everything. So again, it's something we thought might be a good way to try and get our park system front and center more, and get more people involved and engaged in park operations.
Commissioner Sheldon?
Well, thanks for that. That gives me a little background. I see that it's for $21,000, not to exceed $21,000, but there's, and it says there's an Exhibit A, which I don't see, and then an Exhibit B, which lays out the hourly rates for the company, but that's not attached as well.
Yeah, I apologize about that. The contractor sent that back electronically. I'm working with him presently to get the original in place so you could see it. So that's all I had today for that I could get to you today. So.
But in briefings, there was a breakdown of different stuff that was provided.
How much is it per hour?
Trying to remember, I don't,
Well, we didn't really have, it's
Remember
pretty
that.
much a lump sum.
to accomplish all the
rate
goals.
in-
Level of effort.
Yeah, so you got $10,000 for phase one, $11,000 for phase two, if phase one is successful. And if the Kickstarter campaign produces the revenue to pay for it.
Which was an important thing, it's if it did. If it did not, because that was also their idea as well.
Okay?
Okay. Commissioner Jeffries, do you have any?
I don't have any questions, I have some comments, but I'll reserve those to after
Okay.
we've heard testimony.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody who would like to testify on this issue? Hearing none. Commissioners, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would move that we table this, signing this agreement, and have some revisions to the contract to satisfy, I'm going to suggest that we satisfy your needs, and so this is a long motion, so I will wait and redo the motion, but I agree that perhaps we ought to have contact information on this contract, state names. Unfortunately, we will not have a Parks and Facilities Director to be able to put there, so that on our party will not be a very clear one unless we put our Support Services Director in there. So I would make the motion that we table this approval of this contract for a revision to the contract to include contact information for each of the parties to the contract.
Would you like to set a time on that table?
For the next meeting, which would be May 5th.
Could you include in your motion that we would have the exhibit A and B for the public so they could read that?
I'd be happy to amend that motion to include the exhibit A and B to be part of the next time this is presented.
And if Mr. Keats has anything from the state auditor in writing, that would be very helpful too, I think, to know that this is not this is legal to do.
And we did send it through also our legal team as
Yes,
well.
I know, but if you talk to the state auditor, it'd be great to have something in writing.
So you second?
I'll second that with all those items included.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for, that we will table this item until the next regular meeting to occur on May 5th. And at that point, we need included the name identification, we need exhibits A and B as well included. And other than that, before I ask for discussion on that, you want to also have a briefing probably?
Sure, that'd be great. And if
Briefing
the
on
person, I mean, the company could come to the meeting. We've had meetings with consultants from far away as Hood River, Oregon here, and they've come and made presentations. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the first discussion. I hope I'm not just raising questions, but I think they're legitimate questions, so thank you for your motion.
Well, I just want to make a comment that I'm thinking outside the box is what this Parks Advisory Board does. And frankly, to get some things done in the changing climate, economic climate, and just how this county needs to be more nimble, I appreciate the efforts of the Parks Advisory Committee to think outside the box. It means sometimes stepping out and doing things we're not comfortable doing all the time, but that's how success happens, is through risk, taking risk. And I think this is a risk worth taking, and I appreciate you shepherding, John shepherding this proposal through the process. And thank the Parks Advisory Board, and Mr. Neil Winters is here, who's as a member of that board, for being this creative.
Yeah, thank you, too.
And I guess my comment would be, I'm a Johnny-come-lately on it. For the longest time, I was not in favor of it, but after working through it, and I see the vision that Commissioner Jeffries was speaking about, and supporting her vision on it and how to step outside the box, because we all know we have issues when it comes to being government and not knowing how to step outside the box. As times went on, I became more supportive of it because we took care of the issues through our briefings, just to let you know. So it was not as easy and as cut and dry, because it is an odd duck, without a doubt. But if we need more time to look at it, I'm perfectly good with that, because that will help us to make sure that we give a great product that we put our signatures to.
And you know, I laud SmartMean for stepping up and doing this as well, and responding to the RFP. I think they were the only responder, because that's a risk on their part too, but this company's known for doing things outside the box as well.
Well, and to point out, if it does happen, if we end up getting it passed through, even if something happens that doesn't work, they don't get paid anything. You know, that's taking a big risk on their part to put that out, and that was an odd thing all by itself, but no, I can understand the discomfort, so we'll go ahead and do that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. The motion is tabled, or the item is tabled. With that being said, we have no public hearings. We're up to other business. Item number 10, department heads, elected officials. Are there any department heads who would like to speak at this time? Mr. Keats, we should force you to wait till last to say our goodbyes.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll take over where Bob was.
Yeah. Oh, I miss Bob.
So I just want to take a moment and say thank you for the vote on Mel Chevrolet. I think I agree with Commissioner Sheldon, a great project. And I want to give some credit tonight to the person who made it happen, and it's Kelly sitting right there. And you know, one thing I like about Kelly is, you know, I remember one day we went down to look at the building, and we stopped and at a stop sign, and someone walks by, and oh yeah, that's Mr. Jones, and take another block, oh that's Mr. And he knows the life history of everybody, and so on and so forth. So Kelly's the one that connected the dots too, and you know, and saw the vision and the possibility of it happening, and made it happen. So I just wanted to let Commission and everybody know that it was Kelly's foresight that got this done. I'm sure we had some great discussions, made it happen with the sheriff. But that's just I think one example of the staff and how they really try to make things happen in ways that you might not usually think would happen. So anyway.
Would you mind inviting him, now that we do it on camera these days, it's been asked for different departments to bring up employees. Would you mind bringing him up to the podium and introducing him to the world?
Sure, why not?
So, yeah, this is Kelly Frazier, Maintenance 3 and Facilities. And by the way, 1 year got the most popular Mason County Employee Award.
That's right. Yep.
Anyway.
And I understand why. I find him to be a blast, but also a great guy to get things done. And he's one of those get to yes people that you look for.
Absolutely. I've never heard you say it can't be done.
Yeah.
I've never heard you say that.
Yeah.
It can't be done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Hold
Kelly.
on, Tom. or come on back up here. You don't get out that easy, commissioners. Would you like to speak?
Please. So for those who may not know, John is leaving us. He's going on to bigger and brighter pastures. And John, I've known you since I was a chamber director. Actually, I knew you standing outside the legislative doors lobbying for money for this county. I knew you as a lobbyist. You are the Energizer Bunny when it comes to getting things done in this community. The parks here are amazing. The amenities are have expanded tenfold in your 8 years here.
It'll be 9 years.
9 years. 9 years. Just always there. And we are going to miss you so much. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for this county. And like I said, I first met you lobbying. And all the way through, you'd come to my office at the chamber and talk about things that were going on at the county and how businesses could help with them. And just always out there reaching out and outreaching. And just thank you for that. And you're going to be missed. And I just wish you all the best out there in Bothell.
Yes, thank you. John has been a wonderful director. John, I've had the pleasure of working here as long as you have, a little longer, hired you from Enum Cloth, and Enum Scratch, as they say. And you've always done a great job, a lot of creativity, as people say, and amazing ability to find grant funding and to make those presentations to the state boards and others to get us into the top tier all the time. I don't think that there's hardly been an application that we worked on with the commission together with you that didn't go through or get close, or maybe the next year it happened. So thanks for all your work. you know, you have a job which is, I think gives you a lot of personal satisfaction. And I know you like to ride bikes and recreate, and you can always remember when you come back through Mason County that you worked on that project. You know, the Pickering boat ramp is one that comes to mind, big, huge improvement. All the other projects that you worked on, you'll bike past them and remember the hard work you did and the legacy you left for us here in Mason County. So thanks very much, John.
Thank you.
You know, coming in here, I knew all about you and your ability to get grants and get money and how many parks we picked up. There's actually a silver lining to you leaving, and that's that more than half the county will not become Mason County Park land, and you're getting more and more grants to buy it. But no, you've been wonderful, and you're very much appreciated, and you will definitely be missed here. So, you know, on to that next great adventure and enjoy it. And as we said before, for those of you that don't know, he's closer to his wife now. And I don't know, if you're like me and you actually like your wife, that's a great thing.
You know, we often say that Mason County is quickly becoming the playground to the Puget Sound area because we are so close and we have such wonderful amenities, and now we know that we're going to be your playground. I know you'll be over here biking some more and hiking.
Well, that's kind of, you know, before I moved here, I was always down motorcycle riding or bike riding or hiking Mount Eleanor, so now I'm sure I'll be back, so.
Yeah.
And the one thing about Olympia, I'm still not sure that I understand how Olympia works. So.
It's crazy.
They don't understand how it works.
John is real good at it.
Popularity contest.
Yeah, John is great at it. And the other one that comes to mind is the Mason Lake boat ramp. You've worked on that a long time.
Yeah.
Think of some of the other
Well,
projects.
think about out there in
Oakland
Allen.
Bay Park,
Oakland Bay Park.
Sunset Bluff.
Well, look at out in Allen, all that property now. He's still got
Yeah.
something
Coulter
in the
Creek.
legislature now where he may be buying the rest of it.
Piece
So,
of property out towards Matlock that we
Yeah.
bought.
We also got the grants going for the state funding for the North Mason ball field and football
Right.
field for next year.
Lots of projects. Yeah, you'll
Keeps
be,
me updated about 10 times a day on the email.
Well, let's hope the Senate budget prevails and get a little more WWRP money for the Sand Hill Park.
Sand
Hill.
yeah.
That's the next big issue.
that'll happen.
Thank you very, very
And
much.
thank you for the commission's support. I couldn't have done it, you know, without the commission's support over the years, so, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Are there any other department heads who would like to speak at this time? Yes.
Well, now I don't exist. Thank you. Vicki Kirkpatrick, Mason County Public Health and Human Services, and I just want to take a moment to recognize and thank John. As a Parks Director, he not only is fabulous with the facilities and the capital pieces of that, but we've had many conversations and been at some of the same meetings, and he even showed up recently at a prevention learning collaborative for youth in drug prevention. And John has always had the heart for the kids that are, and for the folks who are either have developmental problems, have substance abuse problems. He's very interested in, and he's always been really interested in how health and parks are related. And he sat and talked about walkability and the importance of the trails and how important access to physical activity is for overall health. And in almost every interaction that John and I have had over the years, he completely gets it in relationship to the importance of physical activity and health and what the parks can bring to that. And that's just such a great thing, and I hope that whoever follows you ultimately will bring that same understanding and appreciation for the relationship between what you do and what you've done and the health of our community.
Thank you. Are there any other department heads who would like to speak at this time? Hearing none, elected officials. Please, Sheriff. Sheriff, before you start, can I give you a compliment that is passed on from my community? I guess several things keep happening, of course, out there. Crime never ends. But over and over again, there's a key thing that keeps being said, and that is that Well, Chief Sperling's made arrangements to come out and speak to us. Chief Sperling came out and was talking to us. Chief Sperling, and I wanted to pass that on to you because one of the greatest compliments I know that I give is when a cop is there, you know, and they're asking to be there and the chief shows up. That's a pretty big thing. And so in my North Mason community, I want you to know that that's very much appreciated, and maybe you can pass that on for us.
Well, we stole a gem from the state patrol when we took it.
Yes, you did.
When Ryan came over, but as well, I think that it really wouldn't have mattered who we put out there at the time if we didn't have a building. And once that building went out there and gave us a place to set up a more permanent arrangement, allows them to work out and keep our people up at that north end. And Ryan has just done Chief Sperling has just done a wonderful job of reaching out to the community, and it has made a difference. So we were really thrilled to have that building in place and to have a person that was willing to come on and take on that responsibility. He does a great job for us, so thank you.
Even a group from Beards Cove called me to tell me that. I don't think that's ever happened before. No. Go ahead.
Not that I should preach this out there, but we did notice it when we put that building out. There's the first time in, I can't remember how many years, many years that we've ever seen a crime rate drop in Mason County. And by putting that building out, that we finally actually seen crime rates finally start to drop. But took a few years to get that together, but it's worked out the way we felt it would. So thank you for that. I wanted to just quickly, John already covered this, Mr. Keats already covered this, but I kind of recognize Board of County Commissioners and the Mel family and facilities. This whole issue for putting an evidence facility in for Mason County has been an issue since I was a deputy here in 1986, to not have the right amount of space. And it has been a big issue for the sheriff's office, for every sheriff, preceding myself from 1986 till now, about having a place to store evidence and being able to pass Washington State accreditation. And it's been an issue, and thank you for recognizing that this has been a challenge for a lot of years, and this will make a big difference. For the storage of basically of your property, the citizens' property, well, we're responsible for it. So thank you guys for working on that project and putting that together for us. It'll be a great help from now in the future, so thank you for doing that. John, I had a chance to recognize you the other day out at our meeting, and I said for years, even before coming here, that I always heard of John Keats, and I would tell you that John had been recognized by many people across the state as the best park director in the state of Washington. And I always said I hope that we can hang on to him. When we had him for a little while, we could enjoy that. But, John, we really appreciate all the work that you've done for us. And also, I want to mention it, I kind of call her my favorite writer. Natalie Johnson is moving on as well, and she'll be moving on to bigger and better places, and we're gonna miss Natalie. She's been a great reporter for our area, and I said the other day, the reason I like Natalie so much, I always felt it, and Natalie has been accurate, and she's been fair in her reporting. Even when the news isn't good news from my side, I've had it on that side, but Natalie's always been accurate and fair. I think that's very rare in the media anymore. So Natalie, thank you for the time that you were here, and we'll miss you as well.
Are there any other elected officials in the room? I don't see any. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 11, which is board reports and calendar, or no, item number 10.1, which, boy, I wish we weren't having this conversation. Let us know what you got,
Well,
though.
I'd like to just report on what has been happening in the news, obviously. If people know that Simpson's lumber site's being sold to Sierra Pacific, and had a chance to meet with Representative McEwen and Representative Griffey on Monday at 11:30 with Dave McAtee, who is the president of Simpson Lumber Company, and Lisa Perry and Mark Palicki with Sierra Pacific Industries, SPI, as they're also known. And I really, I think about this for a long time. I was born here in Shelton, but Simpson had been here 57 years before I was born. They've been here 125 years. That's a long, long time. So this is a big change. And but I had the opportunity a few years ago, and I'm trying to think what year it was, maybe about 2000 or 2002, to meet Red Emerson, the president of the family that owns Sierra Pacific. when they were building the new mill outside Aberdeen, just in Junction City, just this side, and they are a fantastic family. I can't think of a better, more knowledgeable family in the lumber industry to take over from Simpson. And they need some help with the transportation, with the left turn lane going into the property. They are absolutely focused on their mission of building a state-of-the-art mill here that is really a mill for framing lumber, consolidating the facility that they have, the Simpson has now at Mill 5 and up at the port. They will hire a tremendous amount of contractors. They'll build this equipment, sawmilling equipment themselves down in California. And I think the transition is very favorable and upbeat. I know that the Reed family's been here for a long, long time, and they've done a wonderful job of working with the community for so many years. You think about Grisdale and all the people that worked up there, and all the national forest timber that was logged in the lowlands, and the combination of sustained yield agreement, the things that happened, and the people, because it was all about people here. And the people will stay, and a new operator will come in, and I think it'll be very, very positive. I think that they have all the best intentions, and I don't think we could have found or anyone could say that they are not will not be committed to our area. They have mills now in Burlington and Chehalis as well. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at the Chehalis mill and the operation. And so I'm very optimistic that this town will and community will grow together with Sierra Pacific Industries.
You know, I'm optimistic as well. I know that this is a very sad day for those who work there. But, you know, we were told that they were going to be looking for a buyer, and I think it would have been even sadder had they not found one, and we would have seen a different use of that property, because obviously timber and lumber and forestry is the heritage of this community, and the idea of not even having that mill here is I hate to think about it. I also had a chance to meet with Mr. McAtee, and the amount of money that's going to need to be invested into that site to bring it, to modernize it, is a lot. And the fact that they do their own fabrication and it'll be a more modern facility creates opportunity. And I know that Lynn Longan has already been hard at work trying to identify how we can respond, both for the present workers in getting them reconnected and reemployed, as well as opportunities for training of a workforce, a skilled workforce in the mill industry, which is kind of aging out, like we're seeing in a lot of different ones. The chair down there, or the manager down at the Simpson plant was sharing the types of skills they cannot find. And so this is an opportunity for us to re-energize that skill set. I think in our, excuse me for saying this, our younger generation, the old saying that. And I don't know, if Mr. Chair, if you'd like to hear from Ms. Longan regarding what she's already been at work at, but there'll be a lot of opportunity to respond in a positive manner to make this as good opportunity as we can.
You know, I agree that there's a lot of benefits that come with change, but at the same time, we can't lose sight of the things that we have to deal with, and we're going to have to deal with now. There's some serious implications that come with this, and a lot of jobs, and a lot of people that are going to have to figure a way to feed their family, and that is extremely important. Although when we focus on that, we cannot lose sight of our own jobs and our own things we must do, which is to try and help facilitate that transformation. Talk to the city, deal with this company, and try and make it as easy as possible for them to get where they need to go. That's actually our job and our responsibility as elected officials. So, you know, we don't want to focus on just the negative. We want to be happy with what we have, but again, I just hope we continue actually to be proactive in making things happen so that we can try and offset some of these jobs, because even though we're retraining them, it should be better to have jobs for them. And I hope that's what we do. Lynn, would you mind giving a brief update of what you've accomplished or what you're working with now so far? Please, yes.
Sure, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I didn't come with notes. I wasn't planning on giving an update, but I'm happy to do so. Lynn Longan, Mason County Economic Development Council, Executive Director. It's been a really busy day, few days. I was made aware of this over the weekend. I was made aware and had the opportunity also to meet with representatives from Sierra Pacific Industries yesterday, early morning. Today I've spent in Olympia with Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council and representatives from Employment Security Department. I appreciate everything that you all said, and you're all right on. This is an opportunity for Mason County to have a company, a top-notch company such as Sierra Pacific Industries, join our community. And if we had to lose the Simpson lumber, this is the best scenario for us. On the other hand, we have to spend the time and we have to do due diligence to help those employees that are going to need help during this transition. It's devastating for them. And after meeting with a reporter today, after he went off air, I said, I'm just so nervous about making sure that we give the proper time to respond to the employees and that we not go too quickly into how great it is to have Sierra Pacific and that we spend the time to acknowledge that this is devastating. This is very devastating for our community. And when you add that with OPP, with Olympic Plywood Panel, I mean, I don't need to tell anyone, that's over 500 jobs to our community. It's a big deal. So I've had the governor's office on the phone with me, elected officials, federal congressmen have been contacting me. Everyone's contacting and saying, what can we do to help? So in that way, it's very good. So we can pull all that together. We're pulling together resources for the employees to meet their immediate needs and to do what we can to help that transition. Simpson's working alongside us and with us to make that happen, and they're putting some skin in the game. And then I see there's another thing that's happening, that the EDC is primed and ready to facilitate those discussions with the elected officials and with our local city and county commissioners and all of the top leadership in the community. So two different things going on, helping Sierra Pacific be successful, helping the employees transition, and doing everything that we can to help them not only to retrain, but to create jobs that they can go into. And that's going to be key through all this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Questions, Commissioners?
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. Anything further on that subject? Commissioner?
I did ask Mr. McAtee, I said, so, obviously Green Diamond is a sister company or affiliate company of the Simpson family, but, does that mean Simpson's gone? And his quick response to me was, gone in this community, was that we still own the tidelands out there and we have work to do regarding creating the trail and making sure that we've got all the waterfront improvements that we've been contemplating, working with the city and with the port to do that. So there's some presence there, and I think that whole, I can't help but think that the retrofitting of that site along with this other work will help us do a wonderful job of honoring our logging legacy here in Mason County.
Yeah, I think it's, Mr. Chairman, I think it's important that people understand the difference between Green Diamond and Simpson Lumber Company. Simpson Lumber Company is transitioning to Sierra Pacific, but Green Diamond remains unchanged. They're the tree growing arm of the company, and of course own the Colonial House that stays with Green Diamond, a lot of the other amenities. So it'll be sorted out into the public, but I just didn't want any confusion out there with the public that the Green Diamond side has changed. No, it hasn't, as far as I understand.
And again, though, there's more things that we still have to think about. For example, on our plate, Mill 5 out there is a huge area that is going to be mothballed, it appears. This is a fantastic, this is an important loss of jobs, but it also is an opportunity for us to try and help find a way to make that profitable for them, to turn it into something else or to sell it. That is a huge piece of property with a railway right behind it, and which allows for other types of manufacturing if they decide they even want to do it. Because right now, I know they don't want competition in lumber, but maybe we can consider some of our long-range planning goals and working with the county and the port and stuff. Now might be the opportunity to pull that stuff forward so we can try and do something about it and be prepared for it. What's the old expression, the better term for luck is preparation. You could be offered a $100,000 house for $1,000, but if you got $500 in your pocket, you're still screwed. So we need to be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity by setting up our planning, making it beneficial, maybe less restrictive to build, and whatever it takes to be opportunistic there. I also recommend the same thing with the city, that they consider creating a zone where perhaps building restrictions are brought down to state standards, as you and I have discussed before. Maybe even the idea of bringing a shoreline plan for that particular zone down just to state standards only, and maybe we can consider doing the same things. That would increase the value and the potential for it being built up and being built up quicker. So I'm just throwing that out for further discussion later. But
it does speak to the request from the Economic Development Council about the change of use in a non-conforming use piece of property, because I suspect that that's a non-conforming use out there, but it would not make sense to not allow it to stay in manufacturing.
Yeah, or to allow it to be used in its best possible way by whoever wants to use it. I just want the jobs that we're going to get there, but perhaps we need to sit down and talk EDC, partnership EDC, Port, Port of Shelton, because they're losing a plant up here also within the city limits. In talking to them, best case scenario is they're able to lease it out, and with the ones they're looking at, that might create 25 jobs. That's still a huge loss, and perhaps if we're planning together with the city and the ports and the EDC on all this, we can start to bring in jobs, find out what we need to do to make that land usable for them, and then we still got to talk them into allowing it to be used for that. Because there's a lot of legs on this stool we got to work on. Anything further? Anything further? No? Then we'll go ahead and move into board reports and calendars. Who wants to be first?
I'll go ahead and start. So last week after this meeting, I did attend the Port of Shelton meeting, in which they had the discussion of a potential strategic planning with the county and then with the city. And then had the Mason Transit Authority meeting in their brand new transit center in the new conference room. Had a meeting of the Hood California Council Integrated Watershed Planning Group, and then met with constituents and Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging, where we welcomed a new member, new commissioner, Commissioner Stamper from Lewis County is now representing Lewis County there. And then the Mental Health Substance Abuse Advisory Committee was invited to attend the Sheriff's Breakfast and to speak to the Sheriff's Breakfast on a piece of legislation that we just heard about earlier regarding changing the sentences to property crimes and the impact that will have on counties and county jails specifically. Potentially very negative should it not be fully funded. There's a lot of promise in the legislation, but it's going to have dollars behind it to be effective. And then had a meeting here of the Council of Governments of the Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council. Had briefings on Monday, met with City Commissioner Mike Olson on a couple different issues, and met with Simpson Lumber representatives. And then had a meeting this morning with the group of folks and a representative from Pauline Bryan. Thank you very much, Tom Davis, for putting together a meeting to see if we can access VA housing vouchers, or housing vouchers for veterans. They're available to us, but we can't access them. So thank you very much to Tom Davis for just, you're like a dog with a bone. Give you a project and you're going to see it through. And I mean that in the nicest way.
I took it that way. Thank you.
Met with some members of the Rotary Foundation, and then meeting tonight. Tomorrow I will be meeting with some landowners here in the community regarding some area they'd like us to put infrastructure towards to increased development, specifically multifamily housing. Have a meeting of the voter accessibility working group, and then a funeral of a joint friend of ours on Thursday afternoon. And then all day Mason Matters Board retreat. For those who may not know, Kim Clint, the director of Mason Matters, is going to take a 3-month sabbatical. And we are going to, right before she leaves, we're going to take advantage of some potential opportunities for change to kind of review what is Mason Matters' purpose. Should it change going into the future? What is Mason Matters and how might it be different? And then she will take those 3 months to take that information and kind of absorb it and basically rest. And then we might have a new type of an organization coming out of that. And then a lot of things going on this weekend. Don't even, but they're all personal. Back here for briefings on Monday.
Sure. Mr. Chairman, thank you for letting me call in on Tuesday the 21st for the meeting. I would have missed it otherwise. I had to be in Olympia, and we're driving towards adjournment. Was there on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday we adjourned, and a couple days early actually, which I didn't think was such a hot idea, because I think we could have gotten a little accomplished if we started up back on Monday. But we will start tomorrow again at noon. Had a chance to be here, of course, for our briefings on Monday as well, and the commission meeting tonight. I spent some time with some constituents and some people around town talking about the opportunities and the changes that were occurring here in Mason County, one of our largest employers, obviously. And I've met with some constituents. I'll do that again on tomorrow as well, and on Friday, some contractors. After the weekend, we'll be here on Monday for briefings, hopefully, and Tuesday, our county commission meeting at 9. And I think Don Twitty mentioned it to Commissioner Jeffries. I won't be able to attend the risk pool meeting, which is going to be held in Seattle on Friday, May 8th. And if you could do that, I'd sure appreciate it. It's an opportunity to choose from 3 very well-qualified candidates for the executive director position for the risk pool. The current risk pool director, Burl, has been there for, gosh, I think about 12, 15 years. So it'd be a big change, but there's some fantastic candidates, and that's going to be at the Radisson Hotel in Seattle. I think it starts at 8:30.
Okay. And I have it on my calendar.
You got it.
Yeah, I was given a lot of advance warning, which
Good.
means I can't be at that meeting with Mr. Least.
Yeah, and I don't think Dawn has a training, so I don't think she's going to be able to attend. So anyway, thank you for doing that.
Okay, I met with, we had the Mason Transit Authority meeting at North Basin Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the LSC conference call for our steering committees, court security meetings, our regular briefings. I met with the port director. I met with individuals when it comes to multifamily, and I'm telling you, I'm actually, like I said before, I'm starting to get nervous. We're getting so many different people that are interested in building the multifamily housing. I'm actually starting to get worried about
Encourage them all.
because I mean, there's a
You
lot.
want me to market
There,
that?
no, we still do, but because hey, it's not a deal till the money changes hands. But I'm talking about. I'm starting to think that there may be close to 8 or 10, not a couple, and this thing's really taken off, including one who may end up as a labor of love, but it could still be profitable. End up taking up the conversations we've had on macro housing, and do something on a piece of property they have for that.
You know what, that Belfair sewer financing plan may just be cut in half on time frame.
And that's I will admit, that's a big part of it, is they're thinking that the stability, and it makes a big difference. But aside from that, I hate to say that, I'm getting nervous about that, because I don't want to discourage anybody against building multifamily housing, but at some point, there is gonna be a saturation limit, and, I don't think it's 20. I think this
There's
is,
developers worth their weight in salt. They will understand whether the market's there.
yeah, no, I'm sure they're doing their homework.
If you wait a little while, you may see tremendous growth along the phase 1. And in Seattle right now, there's a lot of buildings being built, and they're being built. The concrete floor is the first floor, and then they'll go up 5 floors with wood. wood over concrete.
Yeah.
Very interesting building construction, and that's favorable for framing lumber and construction lumber for a long time to come. So I'm hopeful that Mr. Chairman, that your prediction is true, that
It ain't my
there is a
prediction.
lot of interest and they need to get their money down.
Yeah, I'll say, actually, that's what I'm recommending to them, because I think the first ones are gonna be the most profitable, to be honest with you. I think those that get there first, will be the ones that benefit. At some point, you're a little slow and you've got a 25 or 30 unit apartment complex, but you just saw 50 or 75 go up. That might be a little harder to explain that to a bank, to get the finance to do it. Aside from that, I attended a soft opening, soft because it's tacos. But I was invited to the Taco Bell soft opening for their friends and family on Sunday, and you know, what a wonderful thing. These people are coming in and they're already asking questions and looking at investing into the Boys and Girls Club, asking what other things that they can do for the communities that are coming in. And I want to point out that when I asked them how many people that they've hired for that place in Belfair, they've hired 40 people, 30 of which came from the Belfair area, only 10 that they brought from their management staff from outside the area. Everybody else came and applied there. Can you imagine that? And I got in an argument many years ago that I'll never forget, and it was a very wealthy man that had said it, and originally, and I got in the argument afterwards because I was defending it, when somebody was saying, those jobs don't matter, they're not living wage jobs, stuff like that. You know, you go and tell them that when they're going home and bringing food home to their kids and putting Christmas presents under their Christmas tree. All those jobs matter. And the best part about it is the person also said that they're offering, there's one that's working already in Belfair that used to work for them, for another company. They're offering this person a lot of money to try and convert them to come over to work there. Supply and demand. The more you take up that workforce, the more you have to pay them in order to get the good ones. So there's some benefits to those lower end jobs for bringing in more money. And I hope they're successful, because the idea, because that means somebody else is going to have to take that other management job at another one. So with that being said, next week, I can't help it. I'm excited about it. Remember, we worked so hard on this for so many years. It took me 7 years of trying to talk to them. When I was the port commissioner of the Port of Allen, we did a survey. And the #1 vote getter was not Costco, it wasn't Walmart, it was Taco Bell. For Allen, and we had 11,000 people. Would we have, I think it was 1,800 respondents. First of all, that's a huge amount to respond back to a survey. You're lucky if you get 100 or 2, but they just kept responding from all over the area. Of course, we stood in front of stores and everything else too. Taco Bell was #1. So to get my community, to help get my community what they really want, cool. I love it. Cemetery committee, our commission next week. Regulatory subcommittee for the EDC. John Sendoff, I'll be attending a dinner for the Greater Peninsula, what are they called? You probably have a better idea. Land Conservancy Organization. Last week I announced that a friend of ours was selected for Realtor of the Year, and I'm sad to say that this week I'm announcing that his wife Betty passed away on their dream vacation. Right about the same time that we were having our meeting. Women's Republicans, and I'll be attending the funeral, so if others will be attending, we'll be attending it together. Women's Republican, our regular briefings, have a pancake breakfast. McClendon's generously throws a pancake breakfast, so they give free pancakes, eggs, and sausage to the community, and they all come out there and people volunteer to do it. I usually try to stay away from the political function, anything that's like that, but I got talked into doing it last year. It was so cool. I saw people I hadn't seen in 20, 30 years. It was so wonderful. It's one of the best parts about living in a small community. All these people that come out of the woodwork and, hey, I remember you, or they remember me, and it was interesting. But thank you to McClendon's. They're so community friendly, it's ridiculous, and it's just a great thing to do. And then we have our briefings, a port meeting, and then a left board meeting.
I just want to make a little announcement. Just a very exciting event was coming to the Ridge Motorsports called the Lantern Fest. And, that festival it actually was during a period where there was a prohibition or ban on those lanterns, those actually fire-ignited lanterns. And they have rescheduled tentatively to October 24th, so they're outside of the fire season and approval of DNR. But to those that are concerned about the safety of this, they've been doing this for a number of years across the country, and they just had a Lantern Fest in Colorado Springs, 10,000 lanterns. They retrieve 99% of them back. They have a lantern team, retrieval team that goes out and does that. They do everything they can do to make this as safe, but it's a spectacular event. I'm just watching on video, and I hope people will support this when they come back in October.
I had several emails about it, so I'm glad that it's somehow been resolved, their concerns.
Anything further to come before this commission? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We're adjourned.